tonight, the fight is on at North Wilkesboro Speedway for the 11th race of the season. Now officially halfway, drivers will have to make every spot count to try to fight for the championship crown. You'll see it all here tonight on the Misfit Touring Series presented by V-Speed. My name is Scott Shive and I am joined by Sky Shrek and our executive producer, DJ Lyon. Excited for this race at North Wilkesboro. If you got to see the Rudolph 250, you saw a lot of similar action at this amazing speedway. But tonight we're here for race number 11. Points are on the table, and it's a hot fight between the top two and bottom of four between those top points in the championship standing, Sky.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a really fun one tonight, North Wilkesboro. A newer track to iRacing, but one that brings a ton of fun every time we race on it. As mentioned, we did the Rudolph 250 a couple weeks ago. It was an exhibition race, but it was these cars on this track, and many of the drivers in the field tonight also ran that race. So maybe expect the guys who did well there to come over and do well here. We'll see if that experience is able to carry over tonight.
Now we saw Kyle Terzak on top of the boards getting the win for that. Jake Sylvia finishing in fourth in that race. Right now qualifying is continuing on. Justin Brooks is atop the charts right now. Then it's Jake Griffin and Jake Sylvia. This is our schedule. Again, it is race number 11 in week number 12 here at North Wilkesboro. We go to the Milwaukee Mile next week, and we'll get to talk about that more in the post-race tonight, Sky, but that should be extremely exciting for us to get to go to a place where we've never been before.
No, and I think that'll be probably the longest race on the schedule, too. Mile-long track. We're doing 100 laps. It'll be maybe a bit of a race of attrition, one of endurance more so than a lot of the sprint type races you see in the MRL. I think it'll be a really good one for sure, and one that'll provide a different challenge to the drivers.
I am extremely excited for it. Something different that we haven't seen before. But tonight, it's about North Wilkesboro in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Again, this track made famous for so many years, makes its third comeback in 2022. It was redone, repaved, and drivers as well as fans love this speedway. So we got our black and white Google Earth, 14-degree banking in those corners, 3 degrees on the straights, 0.625 miles, so just over half a mile here tonight, and it's some tough racing. I just love this track. I really do. I'm not the best at it in this late model stock, more often the super late model, but these drivers are great at in late model stock.
Yeah, and this is such a good track. It's one that hosts the Cars Tour. It's one that's hosted NASCAR over the last couple years, as well as plenty of times historically. I mean, you can see right there the old NASCAR Cup Series banner hung up on the walls. This place is a throwback. It's one of the most iconic tracks in racing, and I think we're in for a great show tonight with MRL.
Got to get those cup cars back here for a points race. Speaking of points, it's Jake Sylvia atop the charts now 2 weeks in a row. Kyle Terzak has been unable to make the past 2 races, so he has fallen down from first all the way to 6th in points. But if you look right here, second, third, and fourth, Christian Peterson, Justin Crow, and Jake Grout, all within 30 points of each other. So it's a really tight battle there for the second spot in this championship. Kyle Terzak is here in the race tonight, so he could if he gets a win, he could bump himself back up in points, but I don't think he'd be able to take over Jake Sylvia since he missed those 2 races. There's some great fights here on the board. Anthony Ankello has been so good, been so consistent. He's sitting there 8th. Michael Weissman, as well as Kyle Adams, they're sitting 5th and 7th. Justin Brooks here, he's won twice. He's missed a few races, but he's up there in that top 10. And you see other drivers, Matt Mingo, Alex Hallinar, John Leday. Speaking of John Leday, we've talked about him very fondly here, Sky. You have. He's been doing very well in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's really moved himself up the standings. Not the best qualifying effort today, but there are a lot of guys up here towards the top of the points who have gone straight to the A main tonight. Justin Brooks, pole and qualifying, will go straight to the feature along with Terzak. Jake Griffin, who runs part-time, he's back in 18th. Points leader Jake Sylvia and Andon Mendenhall all in the top 5. Now we get ready for the first heat.
Yeah, Andon Mendenhall back here this week. Had a troublesome race last weekend at Sobo, but he's figured it out this week, top 5. This is your starting grid for our first heat tonight. It's the 20 of Tanner Bethea topping the charts and making the pole here for that. Then it's Jake Grout on the outside row. Then it'll be Jesse Janes and Christian Peterson right next to each other in the second row. John Leday and Craig Wilcott. And then Caleb Hall is back here in this race. And we know a lot about Caleb Hall. He is pretty darn fast.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Caleb Hall might not make the call for this race because he is not currently in the iRacing session. So it looks like we're going to have a 6-car heat here tonight with Caleb Hall missing the call here. We're going to have 3 heat races tonight, followed by a consolation race because we're 1 car over the 24 we take to the feature. But with Caleb Hall not in the session, I believe, unless he joins back, everyone in that consolation will go straight to the main tonight.
Yeah, I think we had, what'd you say? I think it was 25 drivers.
I believe so, yes.
If we just miss one, like you said, we'll have everyone be able to go into the feature race. So we'll have to see how that will all play out as we continue to wait. Christian Peterson has yet to grid up. That is one of the drivers we are waiting on, as well as Caleb Hall, but like you said, not in the session. So we'll have to wait just a moment to see if he will be able to grid up with us. But again, it's a fight. And we always talked about in these heat races, it's a time to learn. As we now have Christian Peterson joining us, it will be a 6-car heat. But this is a time to learn, Sky, time to learn this track, how it feels in these conditions, because as you can see, no clouds out there, full sun.
Yeah, and you still got to race because you're going to have to, you know, where you finish in this heat is going to matter with where you start on the grid when we go green tonight. Top 4 are going to go straight in. Bottom 2 in this heat are going to go to that consolation. But like I said, I think everyone who makes it in the consolation is going to advance, barring some late entries to the session here, which means that the top 4 are going to be finished or are going to be put on the grid as they finish in this race. The back 2 are going to go to a consolation race, and that will decide their finishing position.
And we'll just have to see. You don't want to go to that consolation race. It is always your last chance. And so want to stay out of there. New paint scheme this week for that 49 of Jake Grout. We always normally see him in that blue and silver car. Well, he's changed it up to red. Tanner Bethea is in his 20 machine. He's got a new paint tonight. A lot of guys coming out with new paints. Christian Peterson as well with a new paint. So we've got to keep our eyes peeled tonight, Sky, as these guys have got some new paint on the hood.
New year, new colors.
New year, new colors, and hopefully even better for some of these guys out here driving. Jake Grout, again, one of those drivers battling for one of those top spots in this championship. But he'll have to make the feature to get those points. Pace car pulls off to pit road. We're green flagging away for Tanner Bethea and Jake Grout. Door to door, exiting turn 2. It's still side by side for these two on the front row. They make it even down into turn 3. Back behind them, it's all single file. Tanner Bethea trying to get an edge out of turn 4 to complete this first lap, but Jake Grout not going anywhere yet.
Yeah, he's not quite clear. The inside's the fastest way around here, but we know that Jake Grout can really work the top. Pretty much no matter what racetrack we go to, he's always been able to find time up there. He'll try to cut down low and chop off the nose of Christian Peterson a bit, forcing himself into that second spot and slowing Peterson up. He's now under threat from Jesse James back there running 4th.
Yeah, Peterson and Grout making a little contact. Meanwhile, now Jake Grout trying to squeeze the nose in on the inside of Tanner Bethea. And like you said, he can run the top almost anywhere we go. He can find a way. Gets the apron there down in turn number 4 and slow on exit out of turn 4. Now back down into turn 1. Again, single file everywhere. Tanner Bethea, Jake Grout, then Jesse James got around Christian Peterson, and it's John Leday and Craig Wilcott. Craig Wilcott battling here with John Leday. Now Leday goes back into 6th place. So it's still Bethea out front, then Grout, and then the 25 of James.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of a scary moment there where Leday clipped the wall, nearly came back off into Wilcott, but everybody makes it out all right. This is another track where I think we're going to see some drivers maybe have problems with the wall on exit of the corner. These guys carry a lot of speed out of 2 and 4, and it can be really easy to just snag the wall down the straightaway, give yourself a little damage. We've seen it happen at quite a few tracks this year. I don't think this one's going to be any different.
Oh man, Jake Grout just got a bit of the wall right there. Now Jesse James back. Now it's Christian Peterson. They've gotten around each other here. So Peterson back up in front in that 3rd position. But it's still Tanner Bethea leading this field. 2 laps to go now, 1.5 as we come down the back straightaway. And Tanner Bethea has got almost a 4/10 of a second lead over that of the 49 car of Grout as we come to take the white flag here at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, but they holding on to the lead pretty well. He's keeping it single file over everyone else. Leday has slowed down massively, and Wilcott has pulled off the track. So yeah, Wilcott is parked directly in front of the start finish line. He's just towed it off. And while they're doing that, Tanner Bethea is going to come around and he will win the heat race.
Tanner Bethea takes home the checkered flag here for his heat. He will move on to that feature. John Leday and Craig Wilcott will be two cars that have to go to that consolation race, but with Caleb Hall not making the show, everyone here tonight should make this feature. So it was Tanner Bethea out in front of Jake Grout, then Christian Peterson and Jesse James all automatically advancing to the feature race.
Yeah, and I do want to make a quick note of something that, we might see a little later tonight, depending on how these races shake out. Craig Wilcott was basically turned by John Leday there coming out of turn 4 with the white flag displayed already. So maybe keep an eye on that as we go to the consolation and maybe the main event tonight.
It's definitely something to keep your eye on here as we grid up for heat number 2. It's Justin Crowe on the pole. He's third in points right now, but he wants to make the feature race to gain more of those points. Then to his outside, it's at 35 of Tanner Berge. You can see the E there in parentheses. He's done that. It's a lot of people say Berg and Berga or whatever. It's Berge. And then it's Trevor Ward, Matt Zaccardo there in third and fourth. It's Kyle Adams and Bob Belshaw in the 24 and 44, sitting 5th and 6th. Blake Nottestead not in the session right now. So it will be another 6-car heat, and again, all should advance to the feature race later on, but only 4 of them will advance out of this heat race.
Yeah, for sure. You're seeing the cars swerve around, warm up their tires. We're on board with Kyle Adams. He's had bad luck this season. I bet he's looking for a good finish tonight, and I think North Wilkesboro is a track where he could maybe get it done. Again, rocking a new paint scheme there, that all-white car. Looking pretty nice out there.
Yeah, Adams in his 24, I love that paint scheme that he's got running tonight. We've seen him so much, obviously, running in the top 10. He has had such bad luck. He has been unable to finish in the top 10 at all races. That's not, he's just had such bad luck because we know that he's a fast driver. We know he can contain those top 5s, top 10s, but just something normally happens to him. Maybe tonight will be the night that he can get that top 10 and stay up in there, keep out of other people's messes. It's green flag, and we're away for Justin Crowe and Tanner Berge.
They'll go side by side down into 1, and Berge's going to get the initial jump, but Crowe's going to be able to fight right back on the inside to make it side by side down the straightaway. Berge with a little bit of an advantage on the top, but he's not quite able to get anything, and coming to complete lap 1, it'll be Justin Crowe out in front to lead the lap.
Berge gets loose on the exit of 4. That allows Crowe to get the inside and get the advantage. It's side by side back for the battle for third place between Trevor Ward and Matt Zaccardo. Matt Zaccardo in his number 60 machine, that silver bullet on the outside, can't quite carry the momentum. Trevor Ward is going to prevail on the inside, but Zaccardo not yet done on that outside.
No, they're still racing really tight right now, and Kyle Adams is entering this picture for 4th. Zaccardo will cut back down in front of him and go up to the inside of Ward. Nothing happening there. They'll stay single file. Ward's going to try to get the run down the straightaway to make a move on Tanner Berge. They'll take a peek up the inside as we head down into 1.
Berge continues to get loose on exit. Trevor Ward, that car is planted now to the inside of second place. Meanwhile, Justin Crowe continues to expand his lead out front almost by 0.7 of a second. Now, Trevor Ward up front for there as Kyle Adams brushes the wall back there in 5th. So it's Justin Crowe, Trevor Ward, Matt Zaccardo, Tanner Berge currently in your 4 transfer spots.
Right now, those are the 4 out front, but we're going side by side for that final position as Kyle Adams looking up the inside of Tanner Berge, but he's not able to get it quite yet. He'll have the advantage down to turn 2, and he'll get it here. Kyle Adams up to 4th, and now Bob Belshaw is going to maybe look at Tanner Berge for 5th.
Berge down from 2nd all the way to 5th. That car is just too loose on exit. Cannot carry the speed that these other drivers can.
No, he hasn't been able to get it.
No, he hasn't been able to at all. Might want to tighten that up for this race because, again, we will have enough spots in our A main for all of these drivers to make it. We come around. Justin Crowe will take the white flag. 1 more to go at North Wilkesboro in this second heat. He's led every lap so far in this race. Trevor Ward too far back to make anything done. Justin Crowe third in points right now. He wants to sit high in the start of this feature race. He'll crumb out of turn number 4 and cross the line as a winner in heat number 2.
Justin Crowe getting it done, taking home that first position. Going to be back through the field. Trevor Ward, Matt Zaccardo, Kyle Adams, Tanner Berge, and Bob Belshaw in that second heat. And now we line them up for heat race number 3.
Yeah, heat race number 3 will contain 6 drivers here tonight. We had some excitement already, but drivers using this time to just practice, feel out this track, because again, we're full sun out here. And this track will behave differently in that full sun. All drivers have gridded. It's Justin Laxton on the pole in that green 53 car, and it's Clayton Edwards in that orange 11 on the outside. Then it's the 79 of Anthony Yankello and Matt Mingo side by side for 3rd and 4th. 5th and 6th will be John Willett and Alex Hallinar in his 57 machine. So our 3rd heat race compiled of 6 more drivers looking to fare well to start up as high as they can for this A-main.
Yeah, for sure. Those cars lining up now for the heat race. I think someone to watch might be that Yankello car in 3rd. Pretty decent qualifying effort for him. I want to see if he's able to move up past Laxton and Edwards onto the front 2 of this heat race.
Yeah, Anthony Yankello, driver that has been here for 8 races so far this season. He's got 4 top 10s on the season, so he's been driving very well, especially amongst newcomers like Laxton and Edwards, both this being their 3rd start of the season. Laxton actually runs in the Sarah Series on Thursday, and so he's pretty darn fast over there, and he's been fast here in a lot of his 3 races that he has been out here with the Misfit Racing League. So yeah, like a lot of talent up here in this heat race, Sky.
Yeah, like I said, a couple newer drivers in here, guys like John Willett as well. Haven't run the full season, but they're out here and now. Rolling off 5th. I think he might have some sneaky speed in this heat race too.
We'll just have to see how it all plays out. Pace car turns down pit road. It's all on Justin Laxton. Green flag is away. Edwards gets a great jump on the outside.
Yeah, they'll go side by side. Another pretty decent jump on the outside. We've seen that in the last 2 heat races, and Laxton is not quite able to fight back. He's a little slower down the straightaway, but he will have the bottom line to try to make up time. He'll get loose out of the corner, and Edwards will really pinch him down, and he's going to hold the lead for now back down into 1.
Edwards pinches him on the outside, but door to door on the exit of turn number 4, or turn number 2. They'll go into turn 3 now, looking to go door to door here into 4. Justin Laxton prevailing on the bottom. He'll slide up in front. Laxton back to the lead.
Yankello's still looking for 2nd. Here he goes, back up the inside of Edwards there, and Edwards is way loose into the fence. He's going to lose to Yankello. He's going to lose to Olette. Hallinar, he might even fall behind Matt Mingo here if he can't keep the speed up on the outside. Pretty big damage to that 11 car.
Yeah, Edwards trying to push up off the corner at turn number 2, pushes it too high, grabs the wall. Meanwhile, it's Matt Mingo, Alex Hallinar fighting here back for that 5th position. Edwards has a little bit of right front damage, might be slow in front of them. Matt Mingo gonna prevail here in front of Hallinar, but Hallinar pulling the crossover down into turn number 1.
Yeah, you can really see the damage on that right front there of Clayton Edwards. That car is beat up. He's hit the wall a couple other times too, and that is only worsening the damage on that car. It's gonna be really difficult for him to make up any time to the 8 of John Willett.
Yeah, meanwhile, Willett starting back in 5th. He's gained 2 positions here in that number 8 purple machine. But it's all about Justin Laxton out front, almost less than 3 laps to go in that 53. But Anthony Yankello sneaks by. And what a move from Yankello. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he's now going to have his sights set on Justin Laxton. If he can get those 0.4 of a second, he's kind of running out of time, but I think he might be able to get up there and pose a little bit of a threat to that 53 car. We're going to find out. White flag is out this time. Does Yankello have anything for Laxton?
1 more to go. Yankello right there gaining a little bit of time here, but I don't think there's going to be enough laps for him to get it done. Justin Laxton battled with Edwards early on, prevailed on the bottom, got out front, and it's been all clean air in front. Justin Laxton wins heat number 3.
He's going to get it done over Yankello. John Ouellette, Clayton Edwards in 4th, Matt Mingo in 5th, and Alex Hallinar in 6th.
Well, that will complete your heat races. We'll have the consolation race here for these drivers that did not quite transfer. Again, I believe we will have all drivers be able to transfer into this A main tonight. Caleb Hall and Blake Nottestead not gridding up for their heat races. I'll have to see if they make it in here, but I don't think that they will.
I don't think they will either, so it is just gonna be those cars that we saw in the heat races tonight lined up for the consolation.
Well, it'll be John Leday here starting up front in his 22 machine. Tanner Berge on his outside. Berge in his heat race in heat number 2, way loose up on the outside, dropped down from 2nd to 5th. We'll hope that loose condition fixed itself here in these waning laps. Matt Mingo and Craig Wilcott sit side by side here in this second row, 3rd and 4th. Then in 5th and 6th, it's Bob Belshaw in his 44 machine and Alex Hallinar in the 57, and then Caleb Hall and Blake Nottestead, who will not make the start here tonight. So a 6-car consolation race, one last chance, but again, all of them will make it. So this is just a battle for where you're going to start.
Yeah, everybody should make it through into the main event tonight. Just these 6 guys, this is all going to be for position at the back of the field, but any spot matters, especially when you see a track like North Wilkesboro where we might have some accidents in the A main. Further up means more shot at dodging the crashes.
Yeah, every spot matters. You want to make sure you're starting as high up as you can because 100 laps goes by quick, even at a track like this. Green flag is out for John Leday on the inside, side by side into turn number 1.
Another pretty decent jump for Berge on the top. That seems to be the best line when it comes to getting a jump down into turn 1. And I wouldn't be surprised when we go to the feature race tonight if you see guys starting on that outside line and trying to clear down into turn 1. Right now, we're going to go side by side for the lead on lap 2.
Berge looks more planted on the exit, might have fixed that loose condition that we saw in his heat race. Able to hold it on the top line, door to door here, turn number 3 and on the exit of 4. It's a great battle up front for the lead with Matt Mingo waiting in the wings for one of them to make a mistake.
Yeah, they've kept it really tight and a little bit of contact there as Leday kind of runs Berge up the racetrack. That's going to give Matt Mingo a chance to jump into this battle for second. He's side by side with Berge, doesn't have quite enough yet, and as we cross the line to take it to lap 4, he'll have the inside on that 35 car.
Yeah, Berge gonna move it up the hill, couldn't quite hold the top line there in turn number 4. Squeezed into the wall by Matt Mingo. Berge contact, gonna have to get down here in front of Craig Wilcott. The squeeze into 3rd position, he'll be able to. Will Berge move to the bottom here? Looks to make the move, no, but will ride the back bumper of the 12.
Staying tight, mostly single file right now, but I think with 6 laps to go in this consolation race, plenty of chance of that changing. Someone's going to make a mistake or make a move, and we'll be sent back double file, and I think we're going to have a pretty good battle here for something coming to the end. Right now, it's going to be Craig Wilcott. He'll look up the inside of Tanner Berge for 3rd, but he won't get it, and he'll have to pull back in.
Yeah, that car driving a lot better for Tanner Berge in this consolation race, but can't quite get to the back of Mingo. Meanwhile, Craig Wilcott has been looking for a move here into 1 in the past 3 laps. Hasn't been able to make it yet, but he is close in that number 15. Berge gets a little bit of the wall. As we come to cross the line, it'll be 3 laps to go.
Yeah, and they're all still single file. That 15 car is looking a little low on exit, but he's not close enough to actually do anything to Tanner Berge. Maybe just getting a little loose there, trying to leave the corner. We're all sticking good by now. Hallinar scrapes the wall a little further back. Not the first car we've seen make contact with that fence today. And with 2 to go, everyone seems to be pretty much in order here.
Everyone seemed to be satisfied with where they are sitting on the track right now. Looking along here with Tanner Berge on the back of Matt Mingo. That's only 0.2 of a second that separate those 2 cars. But John Leday is going to take the white flag here. Sky, we talked about him earlier on, has been having such great runs, especially since the iRacing tire update. He's leading out front right now of this consolation race. That's where he's going to want to be. Rounds his way through turns 3 and 4. It's a consolation race win for John Leday in his 22.
He gets it done. Great drive for him. And following him up in that consolation race is going to be Matt Mingo, Tanner Berge, Craig Wilcott, Bob Belshaw, and Alex Hallinar.
So all drivers will make it. They will make it tonight. We're going to send you trackside here for the national anthem. Back here from the national anthem, all drivers gritting up right now. We're going to have 11 cars invert the field here tonight, but our race analysis, 100 laps here for this feature race. Pit road speed is 35 miles per hour. Not sure if we will be able to see these drivers pit here tonight. We saw in the Rudolph 250, Kyle Turzak made it more than 130 laps on his tires. But if you do make a pit stop tonight, you want to make sure you're not speeding. One fast repair in the box. We're going to go to your lineup. That invert is 11, so that will put Anthony Yankello on the pole here tonight. He came home second in his heat race. Trevor Ward will be on the outside of that front row. Then it'll be Jake Grout and Justin Laxton, Justin Crow in his 86, Tanner Bethea in his number 20 car, Andon Mendenhall, then Jake Sylvia, and then it'll be Jake Griffin in 9th and Kyle Turzak in 10th. Then it'll be Justin Brooks back there in 11th. Then we go back to our normal order with a 171 of Christian Peterson. Then in 13th, it'll be the 60 of Matt Zaccardo. John Willett will bring it up 14th here on the charts in his 8 machine. Jesse James in the 25 will start 15th. 16th and 17th will be Kyle Adams and Clayton Edwards. 18th and 19th will be John Leday and Matt Mingo. Tanner Berge in his 35 got the way there in his consolation race. The car looked a lot better for him, and he'll be 20th. 21st, 22nd will be Craig Wilcott and Bob Belshaw. And then Alex Hallinar will be your last car in the field tonight. Again, Caleb Hall not making the show. So 23 drivers to make this field.
Yeah, one short of a full field should be a good one tonight. We're going 100 laps at North Wilkesboro, and if we stay green, it should go pretty quickly because this is a pretty fast track for these late model stocks. I think it'll be a really good one tonight, and I think we're going to have a lot of really great racing all through the field.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about this race. We know that this racetrack always provides great racing for these drivers. And Anthony Yankello on the pole, let's talk about it. Those 4 top 10s, he's been running very consistently here in the past couple of weeks. Gets to start on the pole tonight.
Yeah, he's had a really good runs recently. I don't think it's the first time he's been put up front from the invert. We'll see if he's learned anything from the last time that he got to start on the front row, and if he can use that experience to make some moves, keep himself up front as these faster cars in qualifying of Peterson charge. But while pace car pulls off, we're going to come to the green flag at North Wilkesboro.
100 laps and Craig Wilcott already around in the backfield. No caution yet. Anthony Yankello prevails on the bottom. Wilcott still in turn 1 and 2. No caution thrown yet. He's coming down to get off of the racetrack. He will get out of the way. We will stay green here tonight. Wilcott is down on that bottom, but has parked it away out of the way of these drivers. So we stay green after Wilcott has that incident.
And right now it'll be Yankello still in that top spot. Grout moved up 1 to 2nd. Trevor Ward in 3rd right now. We're going side by side through most of the field, including Justin Crowe right here, who's got Laxton to the outside for that 4th position. He's trying to take a peek on Trevor Ward, but he can't quite get anything yet, and will stay side by side with Laxton on the outside.
Yeah, Crowe's still working at that. Meanwhile, up front, we got a battle for the lead. Jake Grout goes to the inside of Anthony Ankello, down into turn 1, prevails on the bottom in one corner. New leader, Jake Grout. Anthony Ankello thinks about pulling the crossover, doesn't quite do it, goes up on the high line. That opens the door for Trevor Ward and Justin Crowe. Anthony Ankello falling quickly.
Yeah, that outside's not where you want to be right now, I don't think. I think the inside is the fastest line around this racetrack. And if Yankello can't get down, he's going to have some problems where these cars are going to be able to kind of freight train him on the bottom. He's got already passed by up to Andon Mendenhall, and he'll finally slot in between Mendenhall and Laxton back in 5th.
Finds that open hole, so Yankello goes from the lead back to 5th. Kind of trying to find to work his way up. Meanwhile, it looks like Jake Griffin looks to be making a move on the inside, but doesn't quite. Looking back here in the field, this is drivers that were inverted back to the back, trying to deuce it out.
Yeah, some of these guys are going to be really quick. I think we'll see Jake Sylvia, Christian Peterson quickly work their way back to the front of the field. Justin Brooks is in 8th. He's already gotten up 3 spots from where he started back there in 11th. These guys are going to be on the charge, especially if this run goes green. You're going to see guys like Brooks and Griffin really start to move to the front of the field.
We'll have to continue to watch as they prevail. Looking along here with Justin Brooks in that machine. Off the hood camera, this is a great view. This is Jake Griffin right in front. Then that's Anthony Ankello and Justin Laxton side by side. Meanwhile, another battle up front. It's Andon Mendenhall going to the outside of Trevor Ward, makes it work. So that 5 machine for Mendenhall is making it work. He's up to 3rd.
He started out back in 7th tonight, so he's already up 4 positions from where he started. Really big move early in this race. Oh, Yankello around in the back. Yeah, caution's out.
Jake Griffin was on his back bumper. Yankello got loose, checked up, and Griffin had nowhere to go.
We'll get you that on the drivertees.com replay. Yankello in that black and yellow 79 car going down into turn 1 right here.
It was Brooks on the bottom.
It is Brooks on the bottom, 1 car behind him. Yep, Yankello gets loose. They get a little contact with the door of the 3 car, and Brooks just goes through him. Yankello slow in the corner.
Yeah, you see how close here Brooks is on the entry of turn number 1. This will look along with Yankello. Yeah, just gets a little bit of a tap. Nothing he can do, lifts up the rear and loses all grip.
Yeah, so Yankello is going to go all the way to the back. We got a couple cars in the pits right now. Christian Peterson is coming down pit road to make a pit stop, along with, I believe, Clayton Edwards as well. Those are the only 2 cars I see coming down right now. So early pit stops for Christian Peterson specifically. I wonder what that's about.
Yeah, interesting call. He was running just outside of the top 10. 12 laps completed already in this race, so not sure why he would come down to pit road. 28 seconds in the pit lane, 12.6 seconds in the box. So I think that's 2 tires, right, Sky?
That, or maybe he had some terrible issue with his setup that he thought he could adjust real quick in the pits and try to make it a little better. I'm not sure. He had to have made some kind of change on that car because maybe he just didn't like the way it was handling, trying to free it up, tighten it up, do something to it to get a little extra pace. But it's really going to be difficult having to come back from last and try to get to the front of the field.
Yeah, interesting. We'll have to see if Christian Peterson will be able to work his way back from the back. Meanwhile, Craig Wilcott is back in this race, 8 laps down.
He's back out on track after that early lap 1 spin. We'll see how this all stacks up here because he's another guy who we know might have some speed, but he's going to be racing back here all alone, 8 laps down. We've seen lap cars maybe cause a little bit of drama here in this series before. We'll see what happens here tonight.
Well, Jake Grout will be your control car starting. He chooses the outside lane. That puts Justin Crow on the inside. Then it's Andon Mendenhall and Jake Griffin lined up in the second row. Pace car pulls off. Green flag away for Jake Grout. Great start on the outside.
Yeah, that outside lane works really well on these restarts. We saw it in the heats.
Oh!
Even these cars jump. Oh, yeah, Andon Mendenhall around.
Mendenhall around, gets corrected.
Ooh.
Trevor Ward piles into the corner. Then it's the 60 car slamming into that of Trevor Ward. Saw that one coming from a mile away.
Couple cars getting pretty major damage in that incident. 16 or the 53 of Laxton was around basically in front of the field and caused some more cars like Berge and Leday to stack up further back as well. At least 5 or 6 cars involved in that and getting some damage.
Yeah, the inside line did not get a great jump, and then Trevor Ward did jump to the inside on the restart, made it 3 wide into turn 1. We'll take a look back at it here on the drivertees.com replay. Here you see them gridded up 2 by 2. Pace car comes off. They get the green flag. Justin Crow doesn't get a good jump on the inside. We'll look along here to that white car. The 16 of Trevor Ward makes it 3 wide here on the inside of Mendenhall and Terzak. No room for 3 cars there. Mendenhall gets turned sideways, then Trevor Ward, then Laxton.
And you see Leday coming in late there as long as Trevor Berge just nowhere to go as that spinning 53 car kind of came down the track in front of him. I mean, you got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it looks like about 7 or 8 cars catching damage in that accident.
Yeah, I think one of the cars, I think it was Buffet that got some damage from Justin Laxton, as well as, who was it?
John Leday.
Yep, it was John Leday. So John Leday pulls it to the pit lane to get some quick damage repair. Spends 3.3 seconds in the box. So Andon Mendenhall was given the EOL penalty. That's interesting. I guess he must have claimed the caution.
That would likely be what it was. Yeah, I don't think they would have given out that EOL if he did not claim it.
I'm surprised that he claimed it and didn't let Trevor Ward try to claim it, but a little bit of luck there for the 16 car, but I say luck, he's back in 20th, Sky.
Yeah, a lot of cars dropped to the back, but the only one that actually came down pit road was John Leday. He's used his fast repair, nobody else has. He was the only car who decided his damage was too great to kind of continue on in this race.
Yeah, surprised not to see Laxton come to pit road. He brings it up 13th after that incident right there. And look at this, John Willett, 9 spots up from the start of this race, has been avoiding incidents. And what a job for John Willett being in the top 5. Green flag is out, front row, second row remain the same.
Another great jump for Grout on the top, and it's going to let him go straight back to the bottom ahead of Crow. Terzak's moved up through the field. He started this race in 10th. He's gotten the car up to 3rd. Same with Jay Griffin, started 9th up to 4th. A couple big movers in the early stages of this race. They're the guys that you would expect to see at the front week in, week out, and it's only taken them about 20 laps to get up there.
Yeah, Griffin, Terzak, Sylvia, and others have continued to move through this field. Bam, big move. Terzak jumps to the bottom, but a big block from the 3 of Jake Griffin, was not having any of it.
Looking a little further back, Jake Sylvia's gotten the car up to 5th with Bethea in 6th. Great drives for those cars as well. And then you've got Roulette back in 7th, Adams back in 8th. Oh, big loose. That might have been Matt Zaccardo back there in the 60, nearly spinning that thing out at a 2. Oh, and he's getting some help there from the 12 of Matt Mingo. Very nearly an accident as we're trying to go 3 wide into 1.
Matt Mingo helping him out 3 wide here in the back, 2 by 2 by 2. Alex Hallinar on the inside of Clayton Edwards. Meanwhile, back up front, it's a battle for 3rd. Jake Griffin throws the door into turn number 4. Big move. Terzak gets the wall. And Jake Griffin here, big move into turn number 3. High contact racing between these 2 cars. Golly, this is a heated battle.
And Terzak's sticking the nose right back up the inside. He's going to take a big send now into turns 3 and 4 and try to run Griffin up out of the corner. He'll get the spot, but he won't quite get clear, and Griffin will hang around on the outside, going for the cutback on Terzak through 2. Now Griffin's got the inside. These 2 are all over each other right now on lap 25. Terzak loose.
Griffin uses the bumper to get around Turzak. I don't think this battle is over. Turzak back to the inside. They keep switching positions back and forth. Meanwhile, it's opened the door for Bethea. Bethea on the bottom. Big block from Turzak.
And now Griffin's on the top because he's got a couple cars like Bethea, Sylvia, and John Roulette back there that are like, oh, you're stuck on the top. Well, I'm just going to come right on through. Griffin has to take a huge send down to the bottom right behind Bethea, and now he's going to force that 20 car back up the racetrack. We're going to go with almost 3 wide into the corner. Jake Griffin try to move on Sylvia. Sylvia will run him back up the track, and now Griffin will lose to Kyle Adams.
Man, Griffin not afraid to get aggressive and use that bumper. Use it on Bethea, use it on Turzak, then Sylvia used it on him. So Griffin goes back from 2nd all the way to 7th, got stuck on the outside. Kyle Adams moves up into 6th. Now Griffin on his back bumper. Doesn't make a move into 1, gets a little bit of the wall.
Yeah, we got some more cars getting really racy a little further back in the field. I think that might be Matt Mingo back there. Was almost 3 wide going down into the corner. This is Christian Peterson right here. As we mentioned, he made that really early pit stop on that lap 12 caution. He's already moved it back up to 12th. So maybe he was able to adjust something in that car more to his liking, and he's been able to find a little more speed with it to drive up through the field.
Yeah, I love this new paint scheme on that Skyline chassis car. Oh, spinner around. It's Tanner Berge. Spinner in the back. We're still green right now. Now the caution is out. Problems behind Christian Peterson. The 44, Anthony Yankello's involved, Tanner Berge involved, and Bob Belshaw.
Yeah, 3 cars getting the worst of it right there. Yankello just pulled it straight into the pit lane. You're going to get a look here at the drivertees.com replay on what happened to Tanner Berge going down into turns 3. That's the 16 on his inside. Okay. Contact with that 16 car spins him around, and then that is a checkup incident. Yankello slowed up a little to dodge it. Bob Belshaw didn't check up quite as much, and that is what sent those 2 cars around. But this incident started, as you'll see on the in-car here, off the nose of Trevor Ward.
Yeah, Trevor Ward, 2nd incident tonight, battling on the inside of Clayton Edwards. Sends it here down into turn number 3. Berge comes down. I'd say that's a racing incident. Didn't quite know he was there. Ward almost into the pit wall, but keeps it straight. And then Mendenhall also gets through cleanly.
Yeah, a couple cars getting through, although they door each other down into 1. So
yeah,
interesting stuff there. Yeah, this is Bob Belshaw and Yankello. We're watching the lap before.
Hey, that might have been
here.
Mendenhall giving Trevor Ward a little bit of tap from their earlier incident.
You might be right on that. We'll see if we can see that in a second here. You're watching. This is going to be Bob Belshaw. He's going to let Yankello by. Yankello seems to be having some internet problems, which is why we can't get on board with him. There he goes. Yeah, Belshaw doesn't check up as much as Yankello does, and that is what lets Yankello go around there.
Yeah, that caused our main issue. So cars circling back around. It's still been Jake Grout out front. And let's talk about the Summer Series. Again, once racing comes to a close at the end of March, we'll have a quick little break, but do not worry. You do not have to wait until November to have some racing going on here in the Misfit Touring Series. We'll have the Misfit Summer Tour Series, and it'll be an 8-race series going from June all the way until September. So an 8-race series. Last year in Season 1, Michael Weissman was the champion. And we saw some excellent racing throughout the summer, Sky.
Yeah, it'll be a really good one. We're racing every 2 weeks there. Slightly longer races, 150 laps instead of 100, but we're going to a pretty wide variety of short tracks this summer. I think it'll be a really good series.
And let's talk about this real quick. Jake Grout won last weekend at Sobo, absolutely dominated. And look at this, out here, out front, has dominated so far in our first opening 35 laps. Can he continue on? Can he get his 2nd win of the season and 2 in a row? Green flag is away. He's on the outside, down into 1. He gets away cleanly.
Yeah, that outside has worked so well for Jake Grout on these restarts because he's been able to jump down to the bottom and clear Justin Crow every time. They're going side by side now with Crow and Turzak there for 2nd. Turzak fighting back. Oh, there's a big one further back.
That was a stack up, started with Jake Sylvia and Kyle Adams, and it piled back further from there. John Willett, Jake Griffin, Craig Wilcott, Tanner Berge, and the 60 car all involved here.
That was a lot of cars. We're going to see that on the drivertees.com replay. We're watching Jake Griffin, John Willett, who we saw in trouble there. This is going to start. Okay, this starts a little further up. Sylvia makes contact with Adams. That checks them up. Griffin goes into the back of Sylvia, spins out, and then everybody stacks up from there.
Yeah, I was riding along with Sylvia, and I saw them get loose, and I thought him and Adams were going to go around. They managed to save it, but it checked up a lot of the rest of the field. This is on board with Jake Sylvia right now. You'll see down here into turn 3, gets a little bit there with Adams. It's a tag from the back. That gets Adams loose, and that checks up the field. And behind them, it starts with the 08 of John Willett.
And yeah, it looked like at least 6 or 7 cars involved there. A couple cars probably taking some pretty good damage. I'd have to imagine we're going to see a few come down and use fast repairs. Jesse James
I can't believe Tanner Berge hasn't used his fast repair yet. This is the 3rd incident he's been caught in.
Yeah, he came down for some damage repair last caution, but yeah, like you said, hasn't used it yet. He is 1 lap down, so maybe hoping he can get a wave around or lucky dog at some point.
Justin Brooks, you saw it right there, squeezes through on the outside of Willett. I don't think anyone else was as lucky as Brooks. They all got stuck.
Yeah, that was a lot of cars and a lot of fast cars, guys who are running up towards the front, who are now going to be stuck at the back of this field. I'm looking kind of at cars who have been able to dodge the accidents and who have gotten pretty far up. Kyle Adams jumped from 16th to 6th. Zicardo's been in a little bit of chaos, but he's gone 13th to 7th, and our biggest mover tonight so far is Matt Mingo, up from 19th to 8th just by keeping his nose clean.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I've been keeping it clean all night long for that 12 of Matt Mingo. And he's moved up and prevailed because of it. Started back in 19th, and he's up to 8th so far up in this top 10. Drivers making their choices right now. Matt Mingo goes high. So start up in that 8th spot on the high line. Meanwhile, up front, Jake Grout chooses the outside again, but he's got a new guy on his inside. It's Kyle Turzak. I'd be a little worried.
I would definitely be a little worried. John Willett claimed the caution there, so he's going to go to back on this restart, but up front, we'll see if Jake Grout can get the same run around the outside of Turzak that he's had on the last couple restarts with Crow. Pace cars in the pit lane, and the green flag will wave for Jake Grout.
Grout does get that great jump here into turn number 1. Now it's side by side for Turzak and Sylvia. Grout gets a little bit of the wall and opens the door for Turzak. Turzak looks to make a move on the bottom. We might have 3 wide on the exit of 4 here. Side by side for 2nd, side by side for 3rd. New leaders side by side here. Jake Grout now on the outside, and he's opened the door for Turzak.
Turzak's put the nose up there. He started back in 10th with that invert, but we know he has speed, and it might not even take him until halfway to get back up to the lead. New leader, Kyle Turzak, heading to lap 44.
Turzak takes the lead, but it's Jake Grout now throwing it up on the inside. Not able to hold it there on that inside. Then it's Justin Crow and the battle between Tanner Bethea and Jake Sylvia. Sylvia is stuck on that outside, but the hole might open here. Big slider, big crossover into 1 for Jake Sylvia.
He pulled it down the racetrack. Oh, Kyle Adams hard into the wall in turn 2. No caution, but he's going to drop to the back and take a lot of damage.
No luck coming here now for that of Kyle Adams. So take a look at the drivertees.com replay while we remain green. You can see it here, the 24 just up into that wall. Nothing doing. Meanwhile, Matt Zicardo also grabbed the wall. That pushed him back to 6th, right behind Jake Sylvia in 5th.
I wonder if that was an equipment issue. I was going to say, I think that might have been an equipment issue for Kyle Adams, because that car went dead straight, like it didn't even try to turn. That might have been a problem where he was trying to move that wheel to the left and it just did not want to move to the left.
Yeah, it's not normal we see something like that. We saw in the Rudolph 250, it happened to the driver of Matt Urban. He had a quick disconnect, slammed into the outside wall. So a little bit of a similar incident there for Kyle Adams. This is a battle back between Christian Peterson and Matt Zaccardo, a battle for 6. Christian Peterson been slowly working his way through this field since he pitted on lap number 12. Well, now crossing into lap number 49, he's up to 6th in front of Matt Zaccardo. Justin Brooks trying to follow through.
I think whatever he did on that pit stop has definitely made that car faster and made that car more to his liking. Because if you remember, before he made the pit stop, he was basically stuck about 10th or 11th. He couldn't seem to pass anybody. He's driven through the whole field now, and he's still got pace to spare. So Peterson's looking really, really good right now. This is the battle for 3rd. We're side by side between Grout on the top, Tanner Bethea on the bottom, and Bethea will get the spot as Grout is loose out of 4.
Yeah, Grout falling from that lead to Kyle Turzak, then loses the spot to Justin Crow, now loses another spot to Tanner Bethea, looks to make a move up here on the inside, trying to get that spot back. That who was dominant up in the front half of this race, well, he's trying to get back to the front. Now that opens the door for Jake Sylvia on the inside of Tanner Bethea. This is a battle for 4th.
This seems like a track where you can really do the crossover. I mean, we've seen a lot of cars just shoot straight back to the bottom after having cars go around them on the top. This is the track where if you can't make one lane work, it's pretty easy to just switch back to the other and try them the other way.
Yeah, it really is easy to make momentum on the top side, dive it back to the inside. Exactly what Tanner Bethea is doing right now to Jake Sylvia. We've seen so many back and forth situations, provides such excellent racing here at North Wilkesboro. We've crossed over into the halfway point now on lap number 54 of this 100-lap A-Main feature. It's a battle still here for 4th as Bethea and Sylvia continue to duce it out.
Yeah, but they will get the spot for now on the bottom. Don't be surprised if you see a Jake Sylvia crossover. There you go.
Here it goes.
Right back into turn 1. Sylvia will get the bottom, and now here comes Tanner Bethea straight back to the bottom, and we'll go side by side again into 3. And as we do this, Christian Peterson is caught right back up to the bumper of both of these guys.
Yeah, Christian Peterson, Justin Brooks looking right here along, waiting for these drivers to single out so that they can make their move on one of them door to door on the exit of turn number 2. Tanner Bethea over the radio right now. They're both talking to each other, trying to race hard but clean, and it's providing some excellent entertainment for us and you, the viewers. Want to tell you right now, Kyle Turzak still out front by half a second. Then it's Justin Crow, Jake Grout, and this battle between Sylvia. Oh, Christian Peterson thought about making it 3 wide, thought better of it, but he is there waiting in the wings. Now Bethea gets by here, still Sylvia to the outside, but it's going to open the door for Christian Peterson.
Peterson knocking on the door of the top 5, trying to get back there where he started this race. He started this race, actually, it says in 12th right now with the invert, but he's been moving up through the field pretty nicely, done really well to get some spots, get himself back up through the field. And, a little bit of a contact there with Jake Sylvia to the rear bumper of that car, and he's going to put Peterson in 5th.
I cannot believe he saved that car. Epic save from Jake Sylvia as Tanner Bethea gave him the shove. Justin Brooks gets loose out of turn number 4. Now Sylvia back to the bottom. Meanwhile, up front, Christian Peterson and Tanner Bethea go to battle here for the 4th position. There's battling all over this racetrack, Sky.
For sure, and Peterson looks really quick right now, but so does Justin Brooks, who's got that thing moved up to 6th right now. Another car making some really good pace right there. These are the same guys you see up front every week, but they know how to drive, they know how to be fast. And Christian Peterson, who hasn't broken onto the top step of the podium yet, but was 2nd just a couple weeks ago, is going to try to find his way to victory lane.
Second 2 weeks in a row for Christian Peterson. Hasn't found his way to that top step, like you said, Sky. I really still believe it is coming before this season is over, because he is a driver that has shown he has the talent to get it done, has the talent to win in a series like this. As he hounds the bumper of Tanner Bethea, he might be faster, but not able yet to make a move. Goes up high here in turn number 2, trying to carry momentum off.
Still single file up here for about the top 10, 11, 12 cars. Most of the field here kind of straightened out for the time being, but there's 36 to go. Not much longer left in these races. These final 36 laps are going to go down quickly, and now you're seeing the intensity ratchet up because Tanner Bethea is going to look to the inside of Jake Grout, and Christian Peterson is going to try to follow him through. That 49 car is starting to fall off the later we get into this run, and he's going to get passed by one, maybe two cars here.
Yeah, that car just not performing the same as it did out in that clean air. Grout just doesn't have that speed that he had earlier, so that dominance has been lost, just can't get a hold on that car on the outside. It's Justin Brooks now to the inside. Brooks moving up slowly through this field. We know Brooks is extremely talented, has 2 wins on the season, but North Wilkesboro just not looking to be his track.
No, he hasn't had a great race tonight. Been stuck back there in about 6th or 5th or so. He's up to 5th now past Jake Grout. But we know he can really contend for the wins here, and I think he'd like to be a little higher than 5th. Maybe he needed a little bit of a setup tweak to get up there the same way that Christian Peterson did. But it's not quite working for him right now. And he's got Sylvia and now Jake Griffin inching closer.
Yeah, Jay Griffin won again. We know not afraid to use that bumper. He's been slowly moving his way up through this field after he got caught in that incident early on with John Willett. Meanwhile, it's a battle back here for the 10th position between Justin Laxton and Clayton Edwards. They battle on. Justin Laxton has damage from that earlier incident with Trevor Ward and Andon Mendenhall. He's trying to nurse his car to the finish, as we've got just over 30 laps to go, and Mendenhall trying to follow his way through.
Yeah, they're all running pretty tight there. That 5 and that 53 car are still side by side. We know Mendenhall was up front earlier. If he wasn't involved in that incident, I think he'd still be up front because we know he has pace. If he gets a caution, I would expect him to have some speed in that car, but right now, mired back outside the top 10.
Yeah, Andon Mendenhall, seen him in so many other series. I've gotten to race with him myself as well. He is an extremely talented driver. This is Jake Griffin on the back bumper of Jake Sylvia. Sylvia gets loose at turn 2. That opens the door for Griffin here into turn number 3. He'll slide it down on the inside, but Sylvia is going to pull the crossover down to the inside in turn number 2. Battle for 5th, or battle for 6th.
Yeah, this is for 6th because Jake Grout is in free fall mode. Back to 8th, and if Leday can get him, it'll be 9th. This is the battle for 6th right now. Griffin is going to let Sylvia by because he knows he can get the better run out of the corner, and he can go straight back to the inside of that one car. Big contact into the corner. He kind of moves Sylvia up the racetrack. That'll give him the spot, and it also lets Jake Grout and John Leday immediately into this fight.
Man, never seen this much aggression from that of Jake Griffin, but he is absolutely using that bumper and not afraid to do it here tonight. Jake Grout slides his way in front of Sylvia. That traps Sylvia on the outside, and look who it is. John Leday won the consolation race. He's been stuck in the back, but now he's up in the top 10.
This is another car that's really come alive as the race has gone on. It's been a good one for John Leday. Moved his way up through the field really nicely after some contact and some spins there in that heat race. Worked it up to 8th right now, and Jake Grout, we know he's having some problems. Wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get past Jake Grout. There's some dirt on the track there. I wonder if someone took a little bit of an unplanned detour through the grass.
Well, the grass is definitely a factor here at North Wilkesboro Speedway in this 87 scan, that being from 1987. Looking here back at John Willett trying to get past the 53 of Justin Laxton, getting very close here on the bumper. This is a battle for 12th. Justin Laxton, that car just not driving the same as it did before the damage. John Willett easily able to go by, and Laxton just trying to limp that car home.
Yeah, well, that's another driver that we saw in the top 10 at points tonight before getting caught up in an incident. I think just like Mendenhall, he's another guy that has a chance to make some spots up. If he gets a well-timed caution, I think he could definitely potentially finish top 7 or 8. But right now, with how this race has gone, green flag for about 50 laps now, it just hasn't worked out in his favor.
Yeah, this has been a lot of really clean racing from a lot of these drivers that we've seen out of them tonight. This is Jesse James in his number 60, slowly closing on Laxton right now. Laxton running 19 O's, James is running 18 8s, so 0.2 of a second faster for the 60 car of James. It's only a time will tell when he can make this pass and get it done.
For sure, he's going to look up the inside here into one, but he doesn't quite have the nose up the inside. He might have to do what some cars have done a couple times this race and just run high for a corner and see if he can send it down the straightaway. He might not need to do that, though, because a bad corner for Laxton will give James the run up the inside. They'll go side by side down into one, but I think Jesse James is going to have the advantage on that 53 car.
Yeah, he will. That car, James has been able to avoid incident tonight. That car looking clean and pristine as they battle side by side into turn number 3 and on the exit of turn 4. James gets it done. That's him promoted up into 13th spot. In these waning 20 laps, he'll try to work his way back up to the top 10. Meanwhile, Jake Sylvia has gotten around Jake Grout yet again. Grout just does not have that speed that he did out front. But John Leday up to 7th.
Yeah, really great run for him and a great run for Jake Griffin, too, who's had that car come alive at the end of this race. He's caught up to the cars running 4th and 5th of Bethea and Brooks. 17 to go. I think he's got a pretty good shot of breaking into the top 5 here.
Yeah, great shot at being able to catch them. Just needs a little bit more time. This is Justin Brooks right now looking at the battle that is going to come. It's right here, Tanner Bethea, and that is the 12 car of Matt Mengo, a lap car going a lap down right now. I believe now he's going 2 laps down. So trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, he's going to move out of the way here. Yankello is also a lap down, and Yankello is going to come up pretty quickly up the road here. I think he's been passed by Terzak, Crow, maybe not everybody else. Alex Hallinar also now being put a lap down. So we've got a couple cars getting lapped here in the late stages of this race, and that might produce some traffic for some of these cars coming further up the road here. If you look right in front of Kyle Terzak, next car up is Craig Wilcott, and then Kyle Adams not far up the road either. So lap traffic gonna play a role in the finish of this race.
And let's talk about Terzak. Sky misses 2 weekends in a row, falls from 2nd in points down to 6th. And what did he need tonight? He needed a win to bounce himself back into into championship contention. And he's out here running 1 second above Justin Crow right now as we have just under 13 laps to go. So what a move by Kyle Terzak to get in here and try to get this win.
Yeah, and if he can hold on for these next 12 laps, he'll be good, but nothing is ever given in this series. You got to earn it, and you might get a caution here. We've seen a few races where late spins, late yellows have contributed to some overtime finishes, and we've got some chaos and some winners that we might not have expected just a few laps before. So it's never too early, or it's never too late here for something to happen that might give Terzak a bit of a heart attack.
It's never over until that checkered flag flies. Anything can happen. This is looking along with the 86 of Justin Crow right now, and man, he is Mr. Consistent. I mean, he has been running so smoothly all season long. This is his 10th start of the season. He's had 5 top 5s and 7 top 10s. Hasn't been able to quite crack that win yet, but all those top 5s and top 10s has allowed him to sit 3rd in points right now.
There's the caution.
Caution is out. This is going to change the entire look of this race. It's Jake Sylvia.
Ooh, he was running towards the front there. I wonder what happened to that one car. He was running, I believe, about 5th or 6th or so.
Yeah, right outside the top 10, or excuse me, right outside the top 5. He was running 6th. He got passed up by Grout yet again, so it looked like he might have gotten loose, and there gets loose at turn number 2, hits the wall, and then gets a hit from Andon Mendenhall.
Mendenhall and John Leday in that orange car, I believe, is Clayton Edwards. So about 3 different cars making contact with Sylvia, taking some damage, and that is going to flip this race on its head. Kyle Terzak is going to have to defend from Justin Crow, who's got one last shot at it.
Man, big hit there on the right front for Andon Mendenhall. This puts Jake Sylvia a lap down as we saw the leader go by under this incident. So the 5 of Andon Mendenhall gonna have some damage that he might need to repair. He's not on the pit lane as of right now, or he has come down the pit lane, I think, already, and gotten that damage repaired.
Yeah, he just made a pit stop, 3-second pit stop. He only took the fast repair. A couple other cars here are kind of making those stops. Matt Mingo putting a fast repair on the car. Same with Clayton Edwards. Justin Laxton going a lap down from the pit stop. So we got, looks like we have 14 cars on the lead lap here. Yankello might be able to get one back, and that'll make it 15 if he can.
Man, this is the last thing that Kyle Turzak wanted to see. I mean, he had been dominating this race since that restart. I think we had 60 laps under green flag right there. That was excellent. And some excellent racing that we saw.
Oh yeah, they were going at it, especially kind of around that 5th or 6th area. Cars going crazy for position. It was really good.
They were. I mean, that's one thing about this racetrack, that high line can be made work. And so it just provides that great racing that we've seen, those crossovers that we see back and forth. It's time for the drivers to choose. Kyle Turzak goes high, Justin Crowe goes low, and Christian Peterson is up into 3rd yet again. Can he find his way around Crowe and Turzak and get that elusive win?
That's what we're gonna find out with 5 to go, 4 to go at the line this time. All bets are gonna be off. Is it gonna be Turzak? Is it gonna be Crowe? Is it gonna be someone from further back doing something we don't expect? It's all gonna come down to this restart right here.
We'll have to see as we cross the line. It'll be 4 laps to go. Turzak is the control car on the outside. Green flag is away. 4 to go in North Wilkesboro.
Great jump for Turzak. He'll get down to the bottom, clear of Justin Crowe. Peterson back there in 4th is going to try to make something happen, but he's not quite there yet. He's going to get a big punt into the corner, a little bit of contact with Tanner Bethea trying to do something for 4th. We're going to go side by side for 4th, but it's Turzak, Crowe, Griffin, clear, 1, 2, 3.
Peterson gets a move from Tanner Bethea. Meanwhile, Griffin right in front of them is slow. That's going to slow down the 20 car of Bethea. Something is wrong. Peterson is sideways. They are wrecked. Somehow they keep it straight. 3 wide out of turn 4. Almost 3 wide to turn number 1. John Leday, big move down to the bottom. They all check up.
Oh, that's the big one.
Around, big car wreck in turn number 1.
We got a car almost flipped.
I don't know how they didn't wreck before that.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I'm going to take a second because that was a lot. Look at our drivertees.com replay. This is 1 lap before. Christian Peterson up on the outside, gets a hit from Bethea right here. They somehow keep it straight. 3 wide, opens the door for John Leday, makes a big move down on the inside. Then you'll see the 60 car of Jesse James gonna check up right here, gets a hit from the 49 car of Grout. Meanwhile, a lot of things going on in the outside lane, and that was Grout that almost flipped over. MRL Space Force.
Hey, we're back. That reminded me of like a white flag lap at Daytona where you're like, I don't care if I win or if I go flying into the catch fence, but I'm gonna do something at the end of this race. With the amount of cars we saw shoving it in gaps, trying to go 3 wide, cars running all over each other. I mean, that was chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I really could not believe they did not wreck before that. Somehow Christian Peterson and Tanner Bethea and Jake Griffin held on to it. But man, we'll take a look back here from the perspective of Craig Wilcott. It goes to the grass, barely squeezes through, threads the needle over the flipping Jake Grout.
Oh my goodness, that was like about 6 or 7 cars taking pretty heavy damage there.
Well, thanks to drivertees.com for presenting us that replay. And so that's mixed up the back of our pack, but look at this. John Leday started 18th, he's into 4th.
Ooh, he's moving up through the field. 2 laps to try to get something done. He's a driver who hasn't been on the podium all year. He is going to be hungry for one, I can tell you that.
He is absolutely going to be hungry. This is our first attempt at green-white checkered. That'll be 2 laps at the flag. We'll have 1 green lap and 1 white lap. If we get a caution on the green lap, we will restack and try to go for the other 2 attempts. But if we take the white flag with no caution, whatever flag happens after that will end this race, whether it be checkered or caution. Kyle Turzak lines up on the top, Justin Crowe on the inside. Then it's Jake Griffin, John Leday, Christian Peterson rounding out your top 5. This race is not over yet. Kyle Turzak still has to get it done. We've seen him get away on the top side. Can he do it again? Green flag is out. Great jump from Turzak.
He'll get the advantage down into turn 1 over Justin Crowe, but I don't expect him to go quietly. Big move for Tanner, but they sends it straight back up the inside of John Leday. He'll move for 5th. We're still side by side for 2nd back here. Crowe and Griffin. Griffin will take a peek up the inside of Justin Crowe. White flag is out.
One more time, it doesn't matter what happens. Christian Peterson looks to the inside of the 3 car of Jake Griffin, makes it work, but it's Kyle Turzak. He's been out front for over 60 laps. Rounds it through turn number 3. He's gonna pick up his 5th win of the season in North Wilkesboro.
Justin Crowe brings it home 2nd. Jake Griffin in, well, my iRacing is not showing the same as the ticker. It's gonna be Christian Peterson in 3rd, Jake Griffin in 4th. Justin Brooks 5th, Tanner Bethise 6th, and Matt Zaccardo came out of nowhere, pulled off 7th.
Wow, what a race to the finish. Kyle Turzak absolutely fought for it in the end there. Justin Crowe finishes up 2nd, and then it's Christian Peterson in that 171 completing your podium here tonight.
What a finish. Kyle Turzak stressing after those 2 late cautions, but he still managed to get it done.
Managed to get it done. What a great move from Turzak there. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll get the results and interviews when we come back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
What a thriller from North Wilkesboro here tonight. Got to be a classic for the Misfit Touring Series. But it was all about Kyle Turzak up on the top. We're going to get you our results from this 100-lap feature race here tonight. It was Turzak that took home the win. Then it was Justin Crowe and Christian Peterson. Peterson fell back to 6th there on the restart, then made his way back up to that podium. Jake Griffin, aggressive tonight, finishes up in that top 5, as well as Justin Brooks worked back from 11th after the invert to finish 5th. Then in 6th, it was Tanner Bethise. He was running up on that podium, but couldn't quite get it done up there. Matt Zaccardo came out of nowhere, was fighting right outside of the top 10, comes home with that top 10 in a 60 machine. In 8th and 9th, it'll be John Leday. John Leday started up in 4th on that restart, got moved around and shuffled back to 8th. And Mendenhall fights back after 2 incidents to finish in the top 10. And then it was Jesse Janes in his 60 machine, finishing 10th.
Finishing behind them tonight, Jake Sylvia, 11th in that 1 car. John Roulette, 12th. Alex Hallinar quietly good run, 13th, and Bob Belshaw recovers from an early accident to finish last car on the lead lap in 14th. Clayton Edwards, Anthony Angelo, and Justin Laxton bringing home 15th through 17th, 1 lap down. Kyle Adams, 18th, and Matt Mingo, 19th, 2 laps down. And Jake Grout, 20th, 4 laps down.
Well, rounding out your field, it was the 015 of Craig Wilcott. We saw him have that early incident, and it put him out of this race. He finished 7 laps down. Then it was Tanner Berge. He finished and wrapped up that car in the consolation, but couldn't quite hold it. Got a lot of damage tonight. Then it was Trevor Ward, and Caleb Hall did not make the show. And I got to make a note real quick, Sky. With Jake Sylvia finishing 11th, that ends his 10 in a row top 10 streak.
Wow, just 1 spot outside, and it looked like he was going to get it for so much of that race, too.
Well, we're going to talk to Kyle Turzak, your winner here tonight. And Kyle Turzak, man, what a race. You led about 60 laps. You took it away from Jake Grout there on a restart, but you had to fight for it in the end. But before we get to that, I want to talk to you about a battle you had with Jake Griffin. Tell me about that back and forth between y'all. There was a lot of contact.
How do I say this? Yeah, you can kind of get what I'm getting at. And he's just
Obviously, a little bit of a heated battle between them. Not the kind of fighting that Turzak would have wanted to see. But once you got away from that, you led 60 laps. We had a long green flag run, but then that dreaded caution came out. What were you sitting in the sim like when that caution got thrown?
well, I realized he was 4th in that restart. I know I was the fastest car on the racetrack because I had him by 7 seconds, and they said I was the second fastest car out there. So I don't know what they're talking about, but I had a really fast car. Me and Crow just went out there and just dominated this thing. Kuhn got the base together today, and I finished the 24 hours, and I had like 5 minutes of practice, ran few laps, didn't even touch the race set, and then I went in my own private test and did like a 10-lap race run. But I didn't even want to run this, to be honest, because of the 24, and I was just dreaded. And good thing I did, because now I think I'm just gonna try and get the most points I can and stay away from that 3 car.
Yeah, I bet you were exhausted after running that 24 hours race. Well, after missing 2 weeks, I know you were doing some other things and running some other races some places. You were 6th in points right now, but Jake Sylvia up atop the charts finished 11th here tonight, so he's definitely going to lose some points. So this is definitely going to move you back up in that standing. You're still definitely one of the top guys fighting for this championship, and it's your 5th win of the season. What does the second half of this season look like to secure that championship?
Win. That's just the bottom line. You just got to win, and I feel like I definitely have the speed to do it. And if this is how every night's going to go, I'm definitely going to be up there, if not winning this thing. So tonight was good. Definitely could have wished we had finished 4th in the 24 Daytona, and could have had 3rd, but ran out of time. But that was really fun. To have that experience. Ran the car quite a bit. Me, Alex, and Sylvia, and Cody Dempster, and a couple other people. And it was a lot of fun. Come in here and have a good race for the most part. I don't get why we had to do that on lap 20, but I mean it's just part of racing, I guess. Yeah.
Well, before I let you go, Kyle, anyone do you like to thank?
I want to thank Adams for putting this on. As usual, thank you guys for the broadcast. Good as always. Arkansas Auto Shop, Curse Sim Shots, Turzak Racing on Facebook. Everybody's walking back at home.
Well, congratulations, Kyle, on your 5th win of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was your winner, Kyle Turzak, 5th win of the season. But Sky has gotten to catch up with Justin Crow, brings it home 2nd.
Yeah, Justin, you got a copy?
10-4.
You were sitting pretty there in 2nd until those restarts. Tell us what you were thinking when those late cautions came out.
Oh man, I didn't want to see those at all. I had made a couple of changes to the car to help short run speed. And knowing that we had another set of tires in the pits, I wasn't really holding back much early on, and lo and behold, we get a long green flagged run there. So I was just like, man, I don't want to see the caution. But me and Kyle were talking. It's like, what are we gonna do if we get a caution with less than 10 to go? We're gonna pit and take them and chance it. And we both decided no. We just try to get the tires cooled down and hope that nobody immediately behind us came in and took tires, and they didn't. So I definitely didn't have anything for Kyle there. Like I said, I was going pretty hard early on, and I saw him kind of holding back. And Kyle's tough to beat, anytime. But if he's got a little bit more tire than you, you're going to be in a tough position. So I was just trying to hold on to second.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what more did you need to catch him? Was it just tires or maybe a setup tweak, anything that could have helped?
Uh, I don't know. Like I said, Kyle's tough. I probably would have needed the tires and to not make the adjustments that I did pre-race. Thinking that we would have some shorter runs rather than the longer green flag run that we had there.
All right, you finished 6th a couple weeks ago at Phoenix, and next week we're heading to a similarly long track. We're going to the Milwaukee Mile. Is that one that you're looking forward to?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ryan Kuhn, RKM Setup Shop. He usually has us sitting pretty on the bigger tracks there. So, it's been up and down for me. As a driver, but the setup's always been on point. I just need to, get a little bit of luck in there.
All right. Do you have anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank, like I said, Ryan Kuhn, RKM Setup Shop for the good setup. Kyle Adams and the guys at MRL for putting on this league, and you guys at V Speed for the broadcast.
All right. Congrats on 2nd place, Justin Crow.
Thanks, guys.
And while we were talking to him, Scott has caught back up with 3rd place tonight, Christian Peterson.
Yeah, Christian Peterson on the podium yet again, a place we have seen you a lot. That win still remains elusive. And talk to me how hard it is to come home 3rd when you know you have the talent to get the win.
Yeah, man, I want to get one. That was a crazy race. That was a crazy race, though, for sure. Probably one of the more fun ones I've had this season here. But yeah, there was a lot of beating, banging, and sliding, and going from the back to the front, to the back to the front, or whatever. It was crazy.
I was just about to talk about that. You pitted on lap 12, and me and Sky up here in the booth were wondering, did you take right sides there?
Nah, I went in because I think I got in. I don't know if I got into the wreck there, but I couldn't see all the cars because I had to turn my stuff down for the 24 because my computer was freaking out. So I turned all the cars, I turned cars down, and I couldn't see the leaders at the beginning of the race. So I pitted to change that.
Ooh.
And then we didn't hit anybody, so that was good. But
hey, Sky was half right then. Yeah. Then the Sky was exactly right. He was like, he thought you might have been making an adjustment. So shout out to Sky for calling that one. But talk to me about working from that back to the front. In a race like this, it was a lot of people can fight on that outside. So tell me what that battle was like.
Yeah, you kind of got to get there and get up next to him enough to race them into 1, and then if you can keep them at bay in 1, you can kind of get them in 3. It's hard to get off of 4 on the top unless you're like real hooked up. But it was a lot of fun going from the back to the front, and it was said it was good. Lade made threw something together and just tweaked on it a little bit, and that thing was a rocket ship.
Yeah, right before that last caution, we saw you and Tanner Bethea fighting 3 wide, and you were sideways. Somehow you saved it, and then the caution came out that dropped you down to 6th position. How did you work your way up to 3rd there on that last restart?
I just picked the right lane for the restart. We got a good jump on Lade and whoever was in front of him there. I think it was Pro, and then him and Jake went off battling, and then I don't know. Jake said he was running out of fuel or something. I don't know. But we just got a good jump on the restart, and I picked the wrong lane, the restart before that, so kind of got lucky. I didn't want to see that first caution at the end, or at the end. I didn't. We had a big gap, and I was going to be happy with 3rd for the most part. So just glad we made it here.
Well, before I let you go, Christian, anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, just everybody at Skyline. All the guys who ran the 24 today. It was a lot of fun. All you guys at V Speed putting on the league or putting on the show, and Kyle and Jake and everybody who helps out with MRL for putting on the show.
Well, congratulations, man. I know you want more. It's coming. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that was third place Christian Peterson. That win still elusive for him, but we believe it is coming soon. He has that talent. But we look forward, we look ahead to the Milwaukee Mile, the longest race we will go to this season, double of what we ran at Phoenix. It's going to be a long one, Sky.
Oh, I think it's going to be a good one, though. It's going to be a little bit more of a race of attrition, I think, with how long it will be. You're going to see more tire stops, more cars try and pit strategy, maybe some more accidents too at a big, more higher speed track like Milwaukee. I think it'll be a really, really fun one next week, and it's one I've had circled on the calendar since the start of the year.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially a track. This is a very momentum-based track, especially for these late model stocks. So you'll have to keep momentum up, and it's gonna take a different class of driver to be able to take it from a track like this at North Wilkesboro to a long track like this at Milwaukee, and we'll see who else will fare on top. But let's circle back to tonight. I mean, what a race! There was so much action.
Yeah, the ability to throw crossovers on this track really made it one of the best races of the year. You could run the top in one corner and just pick up enough speed to instantly send it back down to the bottom and create a battle. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I love watching. It was keeping me entertained all night long. It was great to be along with you, Sky, as always, to be able to call it, because, man, it's just always fun to get to do it with you. That's going to do it for us tonight. From Kyle Adams and Jake Sylvia at Misfit Productions, for Bradley Cooper at V-Speed, and for DJ Lyon in production, and for my colleague in the booth, Sky Shrek, my name is Scott Shive, and we'll see you next week at the Milwaukee Mile.